It started with 32 teams. It started at the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. From there, a 4-week preseason. And then those same 32 teams scratched and clawed their way through a grueling 17-week regular season. From there, 32 teams went down to 12. And then 12 became 8, 8 became 4, and 4 became 2. We are down to the final 2. Sunday night, the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers and the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs will battle it out for the most prestigious trophy in sports in the biggest sporting event of the calendar year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Super Bowl 54. Hello, friends, and welcome to this very special edition, Friday night edition of Strictly Sports. I am your host, Anthony Florio. I am joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. You see it on the screen. That's what it's all about, right there. Those are the last 2 teams standing in this 100th NFL season. And 48 hours from now, one of those teams will be hoisting the very prestigious Vince Lombardi Trophy, emblematic of the Super Bowl and NFL world champions. And regardless of who wins, a drought will end. Will it be a 25-year drought in the case of the San Francisco 49ers? Or will it be the end of a 50-year drought for the Kansas City Chiefs? Only time will tell. So glad to have you with us here this evening. This is our first big show of the night. As you can obviously tell, don't adjust your sets. This is a 1-week only thing. Our regularly scheduled program, the Cerebral Smack Talk, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher, will not be seen this evening, so that we may bring you this very special edition of Strictly Sports, the preview of the biggest event of the year on the sports calendar, Super Bowl 54, which will emanate live from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, exclusively on Fox, with Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews, and Chris Myers. Kansas City opening up as a 1.5-point favorite. That's it, 1.5. The over-under, 54.5. I don't know what else there is to say except this is, without question, going to be, hopefully, a better game than what we got last year. But a lot will be going down. As I reported last night during our Kobe Bryant tribute show, there will be a tribute to Kobe Bryant during probably the pregame festivities, I would imagine. And then Jennifer Lopez and Shakira announced that during their halftime performance, they will also be paying tribute to Kobe Bryant as well. So if this is your first time tuning into a Super Bowl preview edition of this show, it's very simple what we're going to do. We're going to address who has the advantage on offense, who has the advantage on defense, who has the advantage in special teams, who has the advantage in coaching, and then we will give our final predictions, including the score of who will win Super Bowl 54 on Sunday night. And maybe as an added bonus, maybe we'll throw in who we think will end up being the MVP. I remember we did that last year. So, without any further ado, I am going to give you all some schematics before we get into our first preview of the night. And here we go. There are some key stats and what we all need to know. The stats to know and everything else. So here we go. Okay, here we go. It's finally time. Super Bowl 54 is here, and the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs are gearing up for all the marbles. The 49ers and Chiefs have plenty in common. They are both built in the image of brilliant offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid. Their offensive philosophies at their core are identical. Speed kills. They force defenses to guard every blade of grass on the field and punish them in seconds when they try to get away with taking a play off. At their best, it seems absurd that anybody could stop them. For most of this postseason, nobody has. Of course, these teams serve up the same problems in two totally different ways. The Chiefs have to set an alarm on their phone to remind themselves to run the ball. This is the offense that called 31 pass plays against just 6 runs, while scoring 7 consecutive touchdowns in a furious onslaught of a comeback against the Texans in the divisional round. The 49ers, meanwhile, have dialed up runs on 71 of their past 88 plays. You can make a credible case for each side using the weapon the other doesn't have to win in Miami. The 49ers have a dominant front four and the league's second-best defense. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, and that seems to grant them access to a previously unimaginable realm of football at his best. FPI predicts the Chiefs' victory in 64.8% of its simulations by an average of 5 points. It's the heaviest favorite that FPI has predicted in a Super Bowl since the metric's inception in 2009. The matchup rating grades 49ers Chiefs as 97.2 on a scale of 1 to 100. It is the 6th highest Super Bowl matchup rating since 2009. The Chiefs were number 1 in FPI this season, while the 49ers were number 4. In the preseason, the Chiefs had a 27.1% chance to make the Super Bowl per the FPI, but the 49ers were looking at a slim 2.8% chance. This will be the second Super Bowl between a team that led its conference in rushing yards, the 49ers, and one that led its conference in passing yards in the Chiefs. The Chiefs have gained 73% of their yards this postseason through the air, and the 49ers have gained 71% of their yards on the ground. Mahomes has an NFL best 91 QBR versus zone coverage this season, but the 49ers play zone at the second highest rate, 64%, and limit opposing quarterbacks to an NFL low 4.7 yards per dropback when using zone. This is the first Super Bowl matchup between two tight ends who each had 1,000 receiving yards during the regular season. San Francisco's George Kittle leads all tight ends in yards after the catch and has the most yards after contact by a tight end since Rob Gronkowski in 2015. The Chiefs' Travis Kelce has 21 catches on throws, 15-plus yards downfield this season, the most in the NFL at his position. The last tight end with that many deep catches was Carolina's Greg Olsen, also in 2015. The 49ers offense improved by 8.6 points a game from the previous season, and the defense improved by 7.8. They are the 7th team since the 1970 merger to improve by a touchdown on both offense and defense from the previous season. Including the playoffs, Kansas City has held opposing quarterbacks to a 62% completion rate on play-action passes, the 3rd lowest in the NFL. The 49ers use play action on 32% of dropbacks this season. Some bold predictions. After throwing for a combined 208 yards in the previous 2 playoff games, Jimmy Garoppolo will have at least 209 passing yards and could finish closer to 300. The Chiefs have made it clear they want to take away the Niners' rushing attack and force Garoppolo to beat them. And considering his yards per attempt, 8.6, and touchdowns against man coverage, 23, both ranked second in the NFL, and Kansas City's knack for playing a lot of man, 57%, fifth most in the league, it could be set up for Garoppolo to have a big game on the biggest stage. Tyrann Mathieu will intercept 2 passes and might edge Mahomes for Super Bowl MVP. The safety should be heavily involved in coverage on Kittle, so he may see some action that way. But he has made so many plays this season with his smarts and instincts that he figures to be around the ball no matter where it's going. George Kittle will put up 130 receiving yards and score a touchdown. That may sound crazy for a guy with 35 total yards during the playoffs, but the Chiefs have shut down opposing wide receivers while allowing plenty of production to tight ends and backs in the passing game this season. Garoppolo should be looking his way often. The matchup to watch, Patrick Mahomes versus the 49ers pass rush. Andy Reid can script route concepts designed to target the 49ers zone-heavy scheme. However, given the pass rush ability of the San Francisco defensive line, Mahomes will have to showcase his ability to make second reaction plays in critical game situations Sunday night. And for all you gamblers out there, and one that, that I know personally, my older cousin Joey, this is for you if you're watching. The current line from the Caesars Sportsbook is Kansas City at 1.5. Total passing yards for Garoppolo, over under 237.5. Total passing yards for Mahomes, over under 299.5. Total sacks by both teams, over under 4.5. Shortest touchdown yardage, over under 1.5. Over the past 6 seasons, favorites and underdogs have alternated winning and covering in the Super Bowl. Last season, New England won as a 2.5-point favorite. Underdogs have covered in 12 of the last 18 Super Bowls, going 11-6 against the spread under the current playoff format since 2002. And each of the past 10 seasons, the winner has also covered the spread. The last time the winner did not cover the spread was in Super Bowl 43, when Pittsburgh beat Arizona 27-23, but Arizona covered as a 5.5-point underdog. So those are the schematics that I wanted to share with everybody. We'll also address there is one other thing, and that's the injury report. The 49ers are expected to have all 53 players available to be on the 46-man game day roster heading into Super Bowl 54. Running back Tevin Coleman has been dealing with a dislocated shoulder, but practiced on a limited basis Wednesday and Thursday and was upgraded to a full participant today. Safety Jaquiski Tart with ribs and linebacker Quan Alexander with a pectoral also were upgraded from limited to full on Friday, and Kyle Shanahan says he expects all 3 to be quote-unquote good to go against the Chiefs. For the Chiefs, tight end Travis Kelce with a knee and defensive tackle Chris Jones with a calf were full practice participants all week and carried no injury designations on the Chiefs' final injury report, so they should have no limitations in Super Bowl 54. Jones was a part-time player in the AFC Championship game against Tennessee. So here we are. I will have more schematics a little bit later, but I know these guys are chomping at the bit. So let's get into our first category of the night, offense. You would have to consider the 49ers running game against the Chiefs run defense and vice versa. And the same thing when it comes to the passing games as well. When it comes to the 49ers running game against the Chiefs run defense, advantage San Francisco. Raheem Mostert, his monster game against Green Bay in the NFC Championship. 29 carries, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns, did not come out of nowhere. He's been the 49ers' most reliable and explosive back during the second half of the season by necessity, with neither Tevin Coleman or Matt Breida able to shake off injuries. but Mostert is simply using his speed and burst to take advantage of a top-flight zone blocking scheme. 49ers have a strong offensive line and the ultimate of supplemental blockers in tight end George Kittle and fullback Kyle Juszczyk. They create confusion with varying personnel formations and pre-snap motion. Plays designed for both the inside and outside. But the Chiefs, they have a good defensive front with Chris Jones and Frank Clark, but their issues all season defensively have come from a weak overall linebacker core. Don't be fooled by their success against Derrick Henry in the AFC title game. It's the number 25 run defense from the regular season. And although Henry was hard to stop as a big, fast power runner, the 49ers are a different challenge because of how they change the pace from different angles. So the Niners have that advantage. Chiefs running game and the Niners run defense. Again, I go with San Francisco because of their defense. Their strength lies in the number one pass defense. Because of daunting edge rush and sound secondary, the Chiefs won't suddenly force the issue on the ground. Instead, using the pass to open up the run and throw into Damian Williams as an extension of that. 49er passing game, Chiefs pass defense. Again, I go with the Niners. And I look for the Niners to exploit the Chiefs linebackers and safety Daniel Sorensen. Mostert and Coleman, if he returns to play from his shoulder injury, could both be busy in the short passing game to complement Kittle and Samuel stretching the middle of the field. Chiefs passing game, 49ers pass defense, that's all Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes. I don't think I have to go any further than that. So, in the grand scheme of things, I would have to probably give Kansas City the slight edge offensively. Because we know what Patrick Mahomes can do. 2018 NFL MVP. Could have had another MVP season if he didn't get hurt earlier in the year. So, in that regard, I have to say, when it comes to the grand scheme of things, quarterback play, you got to give the edge to KC. No doubt about that. That's all Mahomes. Running game, that's a tough one, but I would have to give the slight edge to San Francisco because of what Mostert did. Receiving core, that's very tough, but I would have to give the edge to KC on that one because of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Tight ends, I mean, that's a draw. I mean, I can't put one over the other because Kelce and Kittle are both out of this world. So, overall, I'd have to say offensively, you got to give it to Kansas City. So, that's all I can say on that. So, good old MF Michael Fletcher. Come on in. I hope you got all the schematics down and everything ready to go. There will be more of that a little bit later on. But right now, offensively, I say Kansas City.
This is wicked tough. When it comes to the offensive ball, I agree. I think Kansas City has the better quarterback as it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Running game, I gotta go with the 49ers. I think the 49ers, three-headed monster of Coleman, Breida, and I also think you also gotta keep a close eye on Raheem Mostert. I think Mostert's gonna have a monster Super Bowl, to say the very least. I think that is definitely a difference maker in the game itself. The next thing that we also got to talk about as well would have to be the wide receiving core. I kind of got to give a little bit of an advantage to Kansas City with Tariq Coleman. I think he is an absolute beast, and I think he's going to make some big plays. Then once you get out there, Anthony, you're absolutely right. The one area where it's a complete and utter draw, and I'm going to openly admit it, is when you get to the tight ends. Tight end wise, it is a draw. There is no way about it. Travis Kelce and George Kittle that's an absolute wash. I don't see anything more than that on that one. When it comes to offensive line, I actually got to give the advantage to the 49ers. I think the 49ers has a better offensive line because of the way that they handle their run attack and the whole 9 yards. So this is the one battle that I'm gonna have to partially disagree with you, Anthony. Offensively, I say advantage 49ers because I do believe they will be able to establish the running game. And I think in this Super Bowl, running is going to be more effective than through the pass. I think defensively, I think we'll get into defensive in a little bit. So offensively, I'm going to give the advantage to the San Francisco 49ers. So Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta give the edge slightly to Kansas City on this one. I mean, it's just hard to go against what Kansas City does offensively. Quarterbacks. Obviously, you gotta go with the former MVP Patrick Mahomes. Running backs wise, I definitely got to give the edge to the 49ers. I mean, like you said, with Mostard, Breida, and Tevin Coleman. I mean, the Chiefs' running games, I mean, it's been okay, but I mean, yeah. And then when it comes to receiving, I gotta give the edge to Kansas City. Obviously, when you got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and then when you get to the tight ends, like you said, it's a draw. I mean, you got probably two of the top tight ends in the NFL, and George Kittle and Travis Kelce. I mean, either one of them could be a game changer come Sunday. Offensive line, I'm gonna give a slight edge to the 49ers on that side. So yeah, I mean overall, like I said, I gotta give the slight edge to Kansas City offensively because, and here's the other thing, guys, and I'm gonna say my wild card when it comes to this, Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he's done well, but the thing is, can he prove it? Can he match Patrick Mahomes? That's going to be the thing that we got to see. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's just move right along for you.
Well, I'll say it like this: when we do these previews, I mean, it's only fitting that I start off on the offensive side because I'm the offensive guru. You know how much I love the high scoring, but it's only fitting that good old MF Michael Fletcher starts off on our next category, which is defense. MF, you're the defensive guru. You preach the defense, so
yes, I do.
Preach it to the choir, Reverend.
Well, it's gonna be something interesting. We'll wait and see what happens. Look, defensively, here we go. The front four, we start that out, and I think it's gonna be a very interesting situation. A front four, defensively, these two teams really get at it. I really think this is gonna be something very interesting to say the very least. Then once we go into the linebacking core, this is where I think it's kind of you gotta give a little bit of an advantage to Kansas City on linebacking core. Secondary, this is where the 49ers feast. They are ball hawks. They really do really good defensively and everything else. I think they're one of the more powerful teams defensively, and this is where I kind of have to say I think this is where the Niners win the battle. So out of all of the defensive guys, this is where the Niners are probably the best. So for me, advantage 49ers when it comes to defense. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I got to go with the San Francisco 49ers defensively. The Kansas City defense has definitely gotten better and better, especially now with Steve Spagnuolo as the defensive coordinator. But there's just something about that San Francisco 49er defense that's really made them look so good and can really cause problems for any team offensively. And the thing is, they really need to get to Patrick Mahomes and put pressure on him. If they can do that, I think they may have a chance. I mean, everything from them defensively is good. From the front line, the linebackers. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. I mean, edge when it comes to defense, hands down, the San Francisco 49ers. Florio, it's yours.
It might be the only time. I don't know. We'll see. But for at least for right now, defense, yes, absolutely. It is San Francisco. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about this. I mean, oh boy, where do I start? The 49ers run defense against the Chiefs running game. The Chiefs traditional running game has been a non-factor in the playoffs. And Damian Williams has had an impact as a scorer and receiver. But Patrick Mahomes has been the leading rusher with 53 yards in each game. The 49ers shut down Dalvin Cook and the Vikings, but gave up a little more against Aaron Jones and the Packers. The 49er run defense lost the key piece and tackled DJ Jones and some depth in the line rotation behind him. They can still be dominant at times, but they ended up number 17 against the run in the regular season. The Chiefs were only number 23 in rushing offense. Mahomes' fearless scrambling adds a concern for the 49ers, who haven't fared well against quarterbacks running this season. And I already mentioned about the earlier point, and the 49er pass defense, well, I'm a little concerned about that. The 49er pass defense is good on every level, but it has enough holes for Mahomes to find things he likes with the Chiefs' number 5 passing offense. San Francisco will win with its pass rush at times, but Mahomes' ability to extend plays with his feet and improv with his arm will cause some breakdowns. The 49ers linebacking core is much better with Quan Alexander back to help Dre Greenlaw, and the return of safety Jaquiski Tart can also help on tight end Travis Kelce. Richard Sherman is still a shutdown corner, but he doesn't typically travel, and the Chiefs will often deploy the speed of wide receiver Tyreek Hill in the slot. It will be hard for the 49ers to commit extra men at the right time to take away both Kelce and Hill. But the Chiefs can also dig deep with Sammy Watkins, DeMarcus Robinson, Mecole Hardman, and Williams to create the matchups they like. So that's it in that regard. So I do agree with you guys. It is San Francisco when it comes to the defense. Next up, Chris Berman. You know, he loves to talk about this. He always used to make a little funny pun about these on NFL Primetime. Oh, those special teams. So, Michael Bullock, front and center. Who do you like when it comes to the special teams?
Whew, man, this is a tough one, but for me, I mean, the thing is, when it comes to the special teams, I'm going to give a slight edge to Kansas City. I mean, their kicker, Harrison Butker, has been really good kicking the ball. I mean, whether it's for extra points or field goals for that matter. Who's the kicker on the 49ers? I'm trying to I think it's Robbie Gould. Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, Robbie Gould, I mean, the thing is, guys, I mean, as much as I like Robbie Gould, I mean, he's not the same guy that he once was with the Chicago Bears. I mean, he's still a good kicker, but it's but something about Harrison Butker I really like. I mean, and then of course when it comes to the I mean, yeah, the punting I think could be good on both sides, but to me, I think overall when it comes to special teams, I gotta give the slight edge to Kansas City. So, how do you feel, Florio?
I agree. It's Kansas City. The 49ers have a good pair with veteran kicker Robbie Gould and rookie punter Mitch Wishnowsky. The Chiefs counter with a confident combination of Harrison Butker and their punter Dustin Colquitt. Mecole Hardman was a Pro Bowler for his return prowess. That and Harrison Butker's range gives the slight edge to Kansas City. So Kansas City is the special teams advantage in my eyes and in Bullock's eyes. MF, are we going to make it unanimous, or are you going to go with San Francisco?
No, this is one that I gotta go. This is all Kansas City, no doubt about it. Look, I think out of certain areas there it's a little more tougher to call. This is one of the more easier ones. Kansas City has a great punt game. They got a great kicking game. I trust them more than the 49ers. The one thing I would be a little concerned about is the rush that the Niners do come. They have been known to get a couple of blocks along the way, but I just think Kansas City is just too good in that element. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Kansas City to win that battle. Anthony, next game, next matchup.
And now we're gonna get into the coaching. We're gonna meet the coaches. We know who the coaches are. Kyle Shanahan for the San Francisco 49ers squaring off against Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs. So here you go. Just trying to find it here. All right. Kyle Shanahan and his father, Mike Shanahan, will be the first father-son duo to each serve as head coach in a Super Bowl. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, this has happened only once before across the four major sports leagues. You got to go all the way back. I'm not sure what years it were, but you got to go back to Lester Patrick and his son Lynn, who each coached in the Stanley Cup Finals. Kyle Shanahan is 40 years old, and if the 49ers win, he would be the fourth head coach age 40 or younger to win a Super Bowl. Andy Reid is back at the Super Bowl for the first time in 15 years, after previously leading the Philadelphia Eagles to Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville following the 2004 season they lost to Bullock's Patriots. He is sixth on the all-time wins list for an NFL head coach, but has never won a title. Every other coach ahead of him on that list has won multiple titles. Andy Reid has the experience, and he has Super Bowl winner Steve Spagnuolo coordinating the defense. Eric Bieniemy has been a terrific offensive coordinator as well. But no duo schemed and managed personnel better than Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator for the 49ers, like they did this season. So it's tough. I really want to call push here, but I got to give the slight edge to San Francisco. Yes, Andy Reid has the experience, but when you look at the body of work of Kyle Shanahan and especially Robert Saleh, who I absolutely love. I love his fire and I love his intensity. I'm the same way in my everyday life as well when it comes to Saleh. But slight edge to San Francisco. So nothing more to say. MF, who has the edge in the coaching game?
49ers. I agree. I think it is because of the Robert Saleh, but the play calling of Shanahan as well is also another reason why that I really think they are so good, so powerful. Because of the way that they play too. I really love their body of work. So yes, Andy Reid's been going great, but he has faltered on certain play calls, certain decisions he's made in the game. He's made a few mistakes along the way. So there's really nothing more to say. So yes, I'm with you on that one, Anthony. Advantage 49ers. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I gotta give the slight edge to San Fran when it comes to the coaching here. So yeah, I think there's really nothing more to say. But I think it's time to give our predictions of who's taking home the Lombardi Trophy.
And before we do that, I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to give MF and Bullock a little bit of time to think about it, because MF will be starting off. I think now would be a good time to bring in my next set of schematics here. So, MF, Bullock, think about it. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes while I break out some more schematics for all of you out there. So here we are. Just trying to get it up here. This damn thing keeps refreshing, but all right, here we go. We already know how both teams got here. We don't need to get into that. But let's address an elephant in the room here. The elephant in the room is the officiating. And Bill Vinovich is going to be the referee for his crew is going to be refereeing this. Okay, here we go. Super Bowl 54 referee Bill Vinovich has worked 8 consecutive postseasons. His regular season crews almost always rank at or near the bottom in average flags a game. That trend has been especially acute during the past 2 seasons, when his crews have thrown 402 flags in 30 games, an average of 13.4 a game. That's 18% lower than the league average over that period, and 29% lower than the referee at the top of the list. Just remember, postseason crews are mixed. Now, when it comes to intangibles, the Chiefs have a magical Mahomes, plus Reed, and plenty of veterans hungry for a ring. But the 49ers seem to have a little more swagger, like they've been here before, together even though they have not. Garoppolo is unflappable too, and the 49ers are more battle-tested. We trust San Francisco to pay attention to detail and make fewer mental mistakes. So there's that. So I think there was one other thing I wanted to get into, but I can't find it at the moment. I'll save it for when I give my prediction at the end. So I hope I've given you guys enough time here. So we're gonna start off our predictions now. This is what we've all been waiting for. I'm gonna bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phil Simms to my Jim Nantz, or in this case, the Troy Aikman to my Joe Buck. So MF, we've broken it all down, and it's just two simple questions, really. All right. The 49ers win if, and the Chiefs win if. Go.
The Niners win if they can shut down Patrick Mahomes and Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman, and Matt Breida absolutely go off. If the running game explodes and the defense can shut down Patrick Mahomes, the 49ers wins their 6th Super Bowl. Kansas City wins if basically Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. If he can run the football effectively using his legs, which he's been doing a lot lately, and just is tossing it around, finding guys like Tariq Coleman and Travis Kelce. If the Niners secondary gets gashed by that, there's no way Kansas City does not walk out of there without the trophy on Sunday night. I think the way it goes is basically who can control themselves at the very beginning. who can try to calm themselves down at the start. It's going to be tough because of the expectation. But I truly believe when it's all said and done, the running game of the 49ers is just too fast. They're too powerful. I don't think Kansas City can stop them. By utilizing the running game, that doesn't give many opportunities for Patrick Mahomes to be on the field, which is one way to beat them. When Mahomes is on the field, you're going to see a lot of blitzes. I think you're going to see a lot of zones, and you're going to see a lot of one-to-one matches. But the problem is that with the Niners is that there's always going to be another guy spying on Tariq Coleman, on Travis Kelce, that it's going to make Patrick Mahomes think one-on-one, and it might be double, triple coverage, and Mahomes might not see it. And with the speed that the Niners have, with the leadership that Patrick Sherman brings to the table, Anthony, I know this is against what Vegas has been going with, but a lot of people are believing that the Niners are going to win the game. I'm with the minority. I am going 28-24. The San Francisco 49ers wins Super Bowl 54, and Raheem Mostert will be the most valuable player of the game. I think he'll go over 100 yards. I think he'll have 150 all-purpose, including the dinks and dunks in the game. I think with him in the open field, it's going to be a nightmare for Kansas City's D. And I just think he's going to go off in Miami on Sunday night. 28-24, Niners wins their 6th Super Bowl. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs will win if they can, if this becomes like a high-scoring game, because I just don't see how Kansas City, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo, can match up to Patrick Mahomes. The 49ers will win if they can contain Patrick Mahomes and keep this a low-scoring game. Now, who do I think is going to win? I'll tell you what, boys. I've been going back and forth on this the whole time. But to me, in the end, after all the thinking and looking at everything when it comes to both teams, I'm with Fletch on this one. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers in this one. I'm going to say 24-21. San Fran wins it. And Mostert is going to be the most valuable player. I agree with Fletch on that as well. So there's nothing more to say. Florio, I know you've been high on this Kansas City team, and I got this funny feeling you're going to be the lone wolf on this one.
If I am, I'm not doing the damn howl. Sorry. I know you got.
Oh, I don't expect you to do it. I'm not even going to ask you to do it.
All right. I found the additional information I was looking for. So here we go. Starting with the San Francisco 49ers. The reason for hope, the 49ers have been in just about every type of game imaginable this season, winning blowouts and nail-biters along the way. But they've never been on the wrong end of a blowout. Even when they aren't at the top of their game, these 49ers find a way to be in it until the final seconds. With an explosive offense, suffocating defense, and solid special teams, the Niners play complementary football as well as any team in the league and are unafraid of the big stage despite their relative youth. Their reason for concern, there simply aren't many weaknesses on this team. But there are a few matchups that have been exploited at times. Offenses that have the ability to attack the side of the field opposite cornerback Richard Sherman have been a challenge at times, and teams with mobile quarterbacks have given the defense fits too. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes had 53 rushing yards in each of his postseason games this year. The 49ers win if they continue to do what they've done most of the year. Control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball that allows the pass rush to create havoc for Mahomes and the running game led by Raheem Mostert to dictate the tempo and set up explosive pass plays for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. For the Kansas City Chiefs, their reason for hope? The Chiefs have reason to believe they'll win in every game they're quarterbacked by Mahomes. They're 27-8 with him as their starting quarterback. The 8 losses are by a total of 36 points, and Mahomes, as a starter, has never lost a game by more than 7 points. The reason for concern? For a team with as many great offensive skill players as the Chiefs have, they struggle at times in the red zone. They scored a touchdown on just 54% of their trips inside the opponent's 20 during the regular season. A failure to finish drives in the Super Bowl would most likely prove costly. And the Chiefs will win if they rely on Patrick Mahomes to carry them. He has not let the Chiefs down yet. If the Chiefs play to his many strengths, they will claim their first Lombardi trophy in 50 years. The stat to know: Mahomes has been the Chiefs' leading rusher in both playoff games this year. There will be plenty of time to celebrate and project Mahomes' passing performance, but his ability to convert first downs and touchdowns via the run has made the Chiefs' offense nearly unstoppable. He is the 4th quarterback in NFL history to rush for at least 50 yards in consecutive playoff games. Raheem Mostert, I agree with you, gentlemen. He is the X factor. It might seem odd to classify the 49ers running back in this category after his outrageous performance in the NFC Championship game. But the 49ers are in the Super Bowl for 2 reasons: their dominant defensive front and their NFC best running game. Unless veteran tailback Tevin Coleman can return from what looked like a serious arm injury, Mostert will take the lead role in an area of the game that is critically important to the 49ers' success. Now, I believe it was earlier today or yesterday or sometime recently, within the last day or so, the Madden game, the infamous game before the game, and their simulation had the Kansas City Chiefs winning Super Bowl 54 by a score of 35-31 with Patrick Mahomes as the MVP. Now, the 49ers have more offensive firepower and less defensive holes. The Chiefs have plenty of big play ability as well, but they also tend to give up more big plays. The 49ers are used to flying out of the gate with determination and discipline. While the Chiefs' slow starting in the playoffs is a red flag, this has the making of a high-scoring affair that comes down to the last possession. Shanahan already experienced the disappointment with the Falcons in Super Bowl 51, seeing a 28-3 lead evaporate. But at the end of the day, yes, I am going to be the lone wolf on this one. Now, my gut is telling me to go with San Francisco. The gut's telling me to go with San Fran. But this is one time where I'm going to say, screw you, gut. I'm listening to my heart on this one. My heart is telling me to go with Kansas City because it has been 50 years since this team has last won a Super Bowl. Andy Reid, in my opinion, is the best coach to never win a Super Bowl. I think we can finally remove that monkey off his big back. So, with all that being said, I am going to be the lone wolf on this one. I am going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win Super Bowl 54. A final score, a smidge lower. I'm going to go 34-31. Kansas City wins. And my MVP, there's no doubt about it, it will be Patrick Mahomes. That's my MVP on that. There is no ifs, ands, or buts on that one. So there's nothing more to say on this except, gentlemen, let's put the bow on this. We hope you all enjoyed this show. I do hope we helped you out with your squares or what have you. And All I can say is have a blessed day on Sunday. Enjoy it, whatever plans you may have. The three of us, we're going to be getting together over at Bullock's house, and we're gonna have the time of our lives. That's all I can say on that. And I cannot wait. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a blessed night, to say the very least. And I can't think of two better people to share that night with than MF and Bullock. There's no doubt about that. So with that being said, I will put the bow on this. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We will be back with you on Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, where we will review Monday Night Raw, and I will give you my latest Tony's take on Impact Wrestling and 205 Live. And then Wednesday night, we will have Wednesday Night Mayhem, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher, as we will review AEW Dynamite and NXT. And then Thursday, Strictly Sports. The only thing on the docket as of right now will be our recap of Super Bowl 54. We'll see if we have anything else. And then next Friday night, we will be back with the Cerebral Smack Talk, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher, as we will review Friday Night SmackDown. And if MF has a Mikey's Mindset, maybe we'll get into that. I don't know. But that's it. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, D.D. Woodson, and always and forever, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it upwards and four style. Bye for now, my dear friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, you have been watching this very special edition of Strictly Sports, our preview of Super Bowl 54, right here on the Tone 25, on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. And enjoy Super Bowl 54.